Okay, in this tutorial we're going to look at creating a texture to be used as a decal in a game engine. So I've got this image from Google Images, and it's just I just used the search reference for Rust. I've taken it in, I've just squared it up, so this is now a 2048 by 2048 image. So the original. Just bring this in. So this is the original, and all I did is just go in, image size, and just this was already a 2048, so I just 2048. I'm just using a preserve detail enlargement on there. Okay, and just resizing that. So to use this as a decal, what we may want to do is actually have this tiling, so we can use smaller versions of this and tile it along, say, a floor or the top of a wall. So we need to have this tiling across. So one thing I am noticing just down here is we have a little watermark. I'm not using this for commercial purposes, just for education, so it should be okay. So I'm just going to use the clone tool for a second. I'm just going to go over and just roughly take some of that out, just to get rid of that. Okay, that should do. So now I'm just going to grab a copy of this image just by dragging it down to the make new copy, and I'm going to go to filter and other and offset. So with this I'm just setting the horizontal to 1024. I'm not worried about tiling on the vertical, I'm just tiling on the horizontal. So this is just half the actual image width. I'm just going to cut this in half, so this is now our middle half. We've got our left and right. So this would now tile across. How are we doing there? But we have this definite seam in the middle down here, and again I'm just going to quickly go in just with an eraser, soft edge. I'm going to go down the middle and just get rid of some of that. Okay. And I can take that, grab these two, just by shift clicking both of them. I'm going to do a Control E to merge those down. I can actually get rid of this background layer. Okay. Now we could actually convert this to grayscale as well, but I'm just going to leave the colours on there for a second. And what I'm going to do is create an alpha for this. So we need some transparency on this, so I'm going to create an alpha material. So I'm just going to, again, just make a copy of this. I'm going to go to image desaturate. So what we're going to be using is we're going to be using white to retain the what we need to keep from the image, using black as our transparency. So I'm just going to grab this and do a Control A to select all of the canvas. Control C to copy. And then I'm going to go into my channels. If you can't find your channels, if you just go to Window Channels and create a new channel, it's going to be an alpha channel, and then I'm going to paste this in here. Okay. So I need to invert this. So image adjustments, just invert that. So the white, as I say, we're keeping, the black we're getting rid of. Do that for a second. Okay. Yep. And then I'm going to go on to either levels or curves. A bit more contrast in this. Okay. Now what I do want down here is to have this a bit darker. And down in this area. So what I may want to do is just go in, use a black brush. And let's see what we've got. like that. And just resizing this brush down using the square brackets. Oops. Just go in, just a bit of a smudge on this. Just take the strength of my smudge up. I'm just going to use my brush. So all I'm trying to do is just get a difference between these. I'm trying to find an area that I can use as an alpha. What I just do is grab a part of this. So I'm just using a range of tools here. Just to create something like that. And we'll see how this works. Okay. So not the neatest, but it'll do for the purpose of this. So now we've got that, got our alpha channel, and just to illustrate what we can do with this, I'm just going to delete this. Let's make a copy of this for a second. And I'm just going to go in and just create an obvious colour. And then on this one, I'm going to press Control to load in my alpha. And on this, I'm just going to create a mask. And that's the kind of thing that we're going to get. We're going to get this sort of opacity on this. And this, we're going to use this opacity, this alpha channel, in our game engine to create this as a decal. So let's just delete this. Let's delete this. So we have our channel. And I'm going to save this out. So I'm going to save it. And we need to save it as file format that will accept a transparency and alpha channel. So I'm going to save it as a TJ file. Let's save this as Rust. And I'm going to save this as a 32-bit and OK. Okay. So just to show you, I have some others here. So this is just a ground one that we've got. Again, this has got an alpha channel on there. Okay. And the one that I was going to do was just a graffiti. So again, we can just grab this, just Control C. If we grab this into the channels, let's create a new channel and let's paste this in. We need to invert this again. Okay, and again, I'm just going to go into levels here. Bring this up a little bit. Okay, so we have something like that. Now let's just grab this. And again, let's just save this as target. This. And let's save this as a 32-bit. Okay, so we'll just stop this here, and what we'll do is open up the game engine and we'll start looking at how we can actually apply this decal.